In this section, we are going to discuss what is a question tag and how do we put question tag for the statements. Before we are going to discuss question tag, let me define what is question tag. What is a question tag? Here is the definition. A question tag is a short question at the end of a statement. So children, question tags are used when asking for agreement or confirmation. Okay, so actually question tags are short questions tagged onto statements. Okay, tags are mainly used in spoken English when the speaker wants confirmation or has a doubt. So if the statement is positive, the question tag is negative. And if the statement is negative, the tag should be positive. Here is the example. You are a student, aren't you? Aren't you? Is the question tag here. So the statement is positive. So positive statement takes negative tag. If the statement is negative, the tag should be positive. And here is the negative sentence. Listen. Mary isn't a teacher. Is she? So the sentence is negative. So we have to use the positive question tag here. Mary isn't a teacher. Is she? So this is the question tag for the negative statement. Now let me teach you the pattern of question tag. So the question tag has two patterns. One is if the statement is positive, we can write the negative pattern. If the statement is negative, we have to write the positive pattern. Okay, so if the statement is positive, auxiliary verb with negation word and subject. So subject should be a personal pronoun. So I'll teach you what are the personal pronouns. If the statement is negative, auxiliary verb and the subject. Okay, so already I told you subject must be a personal pronoun. So here are personal pronouns. I, we, you, he, she, it, they. These are personal pronouns. So in subject position, we have to use these personal pronouns only. So, and children, if there are third person singular means, for example, Ravi, instead of Ravi, we can use he. Instead of Mala, which means a feminine gender, we can use she, and in a neuter gender means we can use it. So third person plural means we can use they. Okay, so these are the personal pronouns. So with auxiliary verb, we have to use the negation with contraction, which means short form. If the statement is positive, we have to use like this, and negative means we can use auxiliary verb and personal pronoun. And children, let me say a few more rules in question tag. Question tag always begins with small letter and it ends with question mark. Okay, so we do not use the full form of the negation word. Don't write not not. Instead, we have to use the contraction like this, n apostrophe t. See, if you see this screen, you are able to know how do we frame question tags. Okay, here are some sentences with question tag. The sentences are positive. For these positive statements, there are some negative question tags. Let us revise. You are a student, aren't you? He is very busy, isn't he? She was happy, wasn't she? They were surprised, weren't they? Okay, children, so statements are positive. So we must write the negative question tags here. So How many verbs are there in this sentences? There are only one verbs. Okay, so one verbs, they are auxiliary verbs. So we can use directly those auxiliary verbs in negative forms with already the subjects or personal pronouns here. Okay, so we can use these subjects in question tag. And children, in question tag, there is an exception for am. Okay, if the sentence has am, we don't write amn't I? Okay, so instead, there is a question tag, aren't I? I am late, aren't I? This is the right question tag. Okay, so children, if the sentence has the be form verb am, the question tag should be aren't I. Okay, don't write amn't I. Instead, you have to write aren't I. Let us discuss some more examples. Here are some sentences, and have you noted, children? All the sentences have more than one verb. Okay, so the rule is if the sentence has more than one verb, we have to use the first verb in question tag. Shall we do this exercise? Yes. You have studied all week. This is the first sentence. So this sentence have two verbs. Have studied. Actually the statement is present perfect tense. Have studied or verbs. So which is the first verb here? Have is the first verb. So we must use have and let us frame that question tag. So statement is positive. So we must tag the negative question tag. Haven't you? So the same rule we must do for all the sentences. See, had, will, can, could, must, should, would. These are first verbs in these sentences. You have arrived before we left. Haven't you? You will pass the exam. Won't you? So the negation word of will is won't. You can speak two languages. Can't you? You could do it for me, couldn't you? We must be patient, mustn't we? You should go now, shouldn't you? You would like a new job, wouldn't you? So, whenever the sentence has more than one verb, we can take the first verb and frame the question tag. Okay? And children, if the sentence has only one main verb, we have to split like this. Okay, we can use do form verbs and split like this, and we can use the do form verbs in question tag. For example, present tense means we can split do plus V1. V1 means verb 1, which is present tense. Past tense means we have to split did plus V1. And the third person singular, which means verb comes with yes in present tense. Whenever we use third person singular, we can use V5, which is verb with yes or es form. Okay, here are some examples. Let us discuss. Come, do plus come. Came, did plus come. Have you noted, children? Came is past tense. In each main verb, do form verbs are hidden. We have to split like this, and we can use do, did, does when we frame the question tags. Comes, does plus come. And next one, paint, do plus paint. Painted, did plus paint. Paints, does plus paints. So whenever the verb ends with yes, we can use does. If the verb ends with ed, maximum many words are ending with ed in past tense. So we can use did. Teach, do plus teach. Taught, did plus teach. Teaches, does plus teach. So this is the rule for using do, did, does. So if the statement has only one main verb, we have to split like this, and we can put the question tag. Let us learn some examples for do, did, does. You speak English. So here speak is present tense. So we can split do plus speak. Do plus V1. So statement is positive. In tag we can use don't. So positive statement takes negative tag. Okay. So already the subject is personal pronoun. You is there. So don't you is the right negative question tag. He speaks Spanish. So speaks is actually the subject is third person singular in present tense. So we have to use third person singular form here. So speaks means verb ends with s. We can use does. Doesn't he? She studied for the test. Here studied is past tense. Verb ends with ed. So we can use did. So statement is positive. So we have to put the negative question tag. She studied for the test. Didn't she? Okay. They need a dictionary. Present tense. So don't they? John lived in Japan. So lived past tense, we have to use did. So John is third person singular. Instead of the John, we can use he because it is masculine gender. Okay. Didn't he is the right question tag. And next example, Mary wants a new car. So wants is third person singular. Does plus want. Doesn't she? So instead of Mary, Mary is a feminine gender. Instead of that third person singular, we can use the personal pronoun she. Doesn't she? These are the examples. I hope you understood all the examples.